remember that night like it was yesterday. The kind of night that seems normal until it isn't. I was home alone, just me, the flickering TV in the living room, and the fading light of evening casting long shadows through the windows. It was supposed to be a quiet evening, just me catching up on my favorite show after a long week. I had my feet tucked under me, a bowl of popcorn on my lap, and all the comfort of my little fortress. But as the minutes dragged on, I began to feel it. That familiar weight in the air, the kind that makes your skin prickle and your heart race. It started with a creak from the hallway. I'd lived in this house long enough to know its sounds. How the floorboards groaned underfoot and how the wind whistled through the cracks. But this was different. This was a sound I couldn't place. At first, I brushed it off, convinced it was just the house settling. I tried to get lost in my show again, but that creaking returned, deep and deliberate, like a slow breath in the dark. My mind raced through the possibilities. Was it just the old pipes? Or maybe a trick of my imagination? I shook my head and laughed nervously at myself, trying to push the unease away. Then the lights flickered. Just once, or maybe twice. I couldn't tell, but something in the air changed. It felt electric and charged, like static before a storm. A shiver crept up my spine, and I set my popcorn down. "Get a grip," I muttered, forcing myself to stand up and walk toward the hallway. My footsteps echoed ominously, blending with the low hum of the TV. As I reached the end of the hall, I paused. My old guitar leaned against the wall, a relic of happier times, and the shadows danced around it like they were beckoning me closer. I remember stopping and just staring. That's when I heard it again, clearer this time. A soft whisper. The voice felt familiar yet foreign, a ghostly echo that made my breath hitch in my throat. "Hello?" I called out, my voice wavering. I know it was just my imagination, but a sick knot twisted in my stomach. I stepped back, thinking about going for my phone when I heard another sound. A soft thud from the kitchen. My heart pounded as I turned slowly. The kitchen door swung open slightly, just enough to reveal a sliver of darkness beyond. I cursed under my breath, and with shaky hands, I grabbed a flashlight from the junk drawer. As I flicked it on, the beam cut through the shadows, illuminating the path ahead. I took a step forward, each creak of my footfall making a dreadful symphony in the stillness. The kitchen was just as I left it. The sink piled high with dishes, a half-eaten slice of pizza taking center stage on the counter. I breathed out, almost relieved. "See? Nothing," I reassured myself. But then the thumping returned, a heavier sound this time coming from the living room. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end. I gripped the flashlight tighter, my knuckles turning white. "Is anyone there?" I shouted, every ounce of bravado fading. Silence answered me. I felt like I was caught in some twisted game of hide and seek. My brother was supposed to be home, but for some reason the house felt vast and empty. I had always loved solitude, enjoyed those moments of peace, but now it suffocated me. As I turned back toward the hallway, I caught a glimpse of movement. Something shifted. My breath hitched, and I froze. A shadow passed, quick and fleeting. "Jack?" I called out again, my voice barely above a whisper. No response. A gnawing fear gripped my heart, urging me to retreat. But instead, I found myself moving closer, drawn by some unseen force. I edged toward the living room, my heart racing with every step. The faint glow of the television flickered in the corner, revealing nothing, just the empty couch, the blankets strewn about. Then I saw it. A figure, vaguely familiar, slumped on the floor by the TV. My blood ran cold. It was a dark silhouette, but it wasn't my brother. I could see it distinctly now. The head tilted at an unnatural angle. The limbs twisted in ways they shouldn't be. Who are you? My voice cracked, a chill settling deep within me. The figure raised its head slowly, a grin spreading across its face that twisted my stomach into knots. The eyes, dark, hollow, seemed to bore into my very soul. "You let me in," it whispered, and the sound crawled under my skin like biting ants. I stumbled back, the flashlight flickering in my trembling hands. Panic surged as I turned to run, but the figure erupted with a guttural laughter, echoed by a chorus of whispers that filled the air around me. "Why did you leave me?" it taunted, each word hitting me like heavy stones. "You wanted to be alone, but I'm here now." Rushing through the hallway, I slammed the door to my brother's room and locked it. My heart thundered against my ribs, the whispered taunts still ringing in my ears. I slid down to the floor, pressing my back against the cold wood, hoping, praying that whatever that thing was would just go away. Minutes felt like hours as I replayed the horrifying encounter in my head. I could still hear the laughter, still feel the chill of its breath against my neck. My phone buzzed next to me. I nearly jumped out of my skin, scrambling to check the screen. It was a text from Jack. "Hey, sorry I'm late. Be home in 10. Relief washed over me momentarily, but then dread crashed back in. I had to get out of here. It could come for me again. Peeking through the keyhole, I saw the living room bathed in shadows. I was trapped, my mind racing. With trembling hands, I texted Jack back. "Get here, fast. Something's in the house." My breath hitched as I noticed something strange. The whispers stopped. The house around me fell eerily quiet. I took a deep breath and mustered all the courage I had left. The flashlight flickered ominously before I switched it off, using the dark to my advantage. With each step, I crept toward the door, praying I wouldn't see that twisted grin again. I opened the door slowly, peering into the living room. All was still. My heart thumped louder, each beat a reminder of the danger lurking just beyond my field of vision. I tiptoed back into the corridor and rushed toward the front door. I grabbed the handle, wrenching it open with a force that sent adrenaline flooding through my veins. But just as I stepped outside, I heard it once more. A breathy whisper against the back of my neck. "You can never leave me." My blood turned to ice. I bolted into the night, running without looking back, the echoes of laughter following me like a ghost I couldn't escape. When I finally reached the streetlight, I turned to see the house silhouetted against the moonlight, still quiet and sinister. Jack pulled up just then, panic etched on his face. I jumped into the car, gasping, "We need to get out of here." As we drove away, my hands shook, and I stared at the house, disappearing in the rearview mirror. I wasn't sure if what I saw was real or a nightmare, but I knew one thing. That night I lost something, or maybe it was just a part of me that I'd never reclaim. To this day, I can't sleep right unless the lights are on. The whispers still linger in my mind, a haunting reminder that sometimes the things we can't see are far